Hello and welcome everybody to today's video. Welcome to the Vee Academy. My name is Crumbrion, Professor Crumbrion, if you would. And today we're going to be taking a look at a wonderful game that we played on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, and be happy to get your reactions to it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. If you want to follow me and watch games in real time, check me out on twitch.tv/Crumbrion. For now, let's go check out the game. Thanks for watching.
3, 2, 1, go!
Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to another video here. We got a good one here for you today. We have a very closely played Gardevoir mirror. Now, this was actually one that I was having a lot of bad luck with. We've had people that have been playing Quad Munki into our unique Frilish build. We do not play Jellicent in this list. We play a bit of spicy things that you're going to find out here in this list here as well. So we've been starting basically the entire all of the games that we've been playing in almost the exact same way. We've had Frilish, Ralts, and Munkidori basically to start the game. We've been item locking them. We've been keeping them to a pretty good spot, but it's been getting away from us. It's been getting away from us because of one thing or another. But this one has probably been one of the closest played. This one's probably one of the best played games that I think we've ever played in terms of Gardevoir. This person had definitely played Gardevoir once or twice before. Definitely knew what they were doing. And so this one was a very interesting game to see, and I hope that you all enjoyed. If you like this content, please feel free to like this video. If you want to subscribe to the channel, it definitely helps me be able to bring this content to you as well here. So take a look. So we got to go second in this game. They start out with Mew. They get to immediately get Munkidori and Ralts down with Munkidori Dark Energy. So again, this is something we've been facing at this point. We've been facing this matchup all day long. It has been a very, very tough hill to climb back from. So we do end up getting Arven here, which is good for us. We are going to be setting up a follow-up turn here. And the initial thought here was grab Earthen Vessel. We're going to end up grabbing Secret Box, and we're going to be grabbing something to kind of throw aside here because we want to be able to set up our follow-up turn here. This is going to be an important one for us. So we grab Vitality Band, and I know that might be a surprise for some people. Vitality Band is something I'm testing out in this deck. It's a little bit spicy, I know, but I do enjoy the idea of Vitality Band in this deck, in this build, because it does do a lot of stuff for us. It does allow us to Oceanic Gloom for 30 damage if we attach to Frilish. If we choose to put it on a Gardevoir, we can Miracle Force for 200 damage, and that is a very significant amount of damage as well. So Lillie's Determination is awesome in this deck. We have a split of 2 Lillies, 2 Professor's Research in this list. So we're going to grab something here. Mesagoza, we're going to grab Mesagoza for the Earthen Vessel to get more energy down. We're in a pretty good spot now, at least. In previous games, we've been struggling to get energies on the board. We're going to grab a Psychic and a Dark here. We do have a Munkidori on board. We're not going to be able to set it up this particular turn, but we're going to Oceanic Gloom and item lock them here. So our opponent has had an okay opening turn. They got their Munkidori set up, but they haven't got anything established on board. They have 3 energies in the discard pile, which is rough for us, obviously. Very rough. Getting the 3 energies immediately means that they can get Gardevoir going basically right away. But they are playing Mystery Garden, which is an interesting choice for this deck. I wish that it was worded like Morty's Conviction, where you could draw cards for the amount of Psychic Pokemon that you have in play, not limiting it to as basically an extended Mew, where Mystery Garden allows you to draw up to however many Psychic Pokemon that you have in play for the amount of cards in your hand. So if you have, for example, they had 2 cards in their hand, they discard an energy, they had 3 Pokemon in play, they get to draw up to 3. So it does make a difference for me in this game at a couple of points in time, but overall it doesn't seem like it's a very useful card in most situations for Gardevoir. So we have a couple different options here. Obviously we could do a couple of different things. I think we just wanted to see more cards here. We could grab Arven to do some things for us because we're not item locked, but we want to see more cards. We want a Lillie's Determination here. So we're going to go grab Lillie's, play that. We're going to get a second Ralts down because this has been kind of a backbreaker for us, not getting a second Ralts down in these scenarios. We can get rid of a second Frillish here because we can get it back with Night Stretcher easily. Getting Kirlia established on this particular turn is going to be very important for us. And we don't need to rush another Munkidori out because we can't attach for turn right now anyways. So we do get our Mew down. We can use the Night Stretcher to get the Dark Energy back as well. And because we're going to have a small hand here, we actually can use the Night Stretcher to get back a Screamtail because we have it in hand, so we may as well use it. And then we can draw up to six Pokemon on the field, so up to 6 cards in our hand. So this is actually maximum value out of Mystery Garden, or almost maximum value out of what we could get here. So we're going to restart because we can. And now we can discard the Psychic Energy, which is even better. So we don't want to get rid of the Dark Energy necessarily. We can go ahead and Mystery Garden, get rid of the Psychic Energy instead, which is maximum value here. Draw 4 cards, we get a second Kirlia, and we get Gardevoir off of that, which is amazing. So we get to keep those on the following turn. We're in pretty good shape for this game going forward. So because of the Vitality Band on Frillish, where Oceanic Gloom is hitting for 30 damage, a big 30 damage, which is actually significant because instead of flitting around the 30 damage here, 30 damage there, we hit for 30 before, they pushed it back over to us, we pushed it over to Kirlia, so now Kirlia has 30 damage. Now they need 2 Munkidoris to be able to remove that. They have 1, and they have 1 bench space left, and this deck is going to run 4 Munkidoris. So they have increased their amount of Pokemon on the bench, they discard a Psychic Energy, they draw a couple more cards, they get a second Munkidori down. They're going to Adrenabrain here, push 30 damage over. We only have 1 monkey established, and we only have room for 1 monkey, so we're gonna have to make do with what we have. But good news, they whiffed a Dark Energy on this turn because they are item locked. They cannot use Earthen Vessel, so they just opt for a second TM Evo on this turn, which is fantastic for us because now we get to evolve to Kirlia, we get to evolve to Gardevoir, and we get to do a whole bunch of stuff here. So now we have a Gardevoir with an air balloon on it. Air Balloon obviously prevents our opponents from locking Gardevoir into the active slot, forcing us to have to put energy to retreat it. We have plenty of energy in the discard pile, obviously, so that's not really a big deal at this point. We still have 6 Pokemon in play, so Mystery Garden still is actually doing work for us here if we decide to use that energy as a discard here. So there are a lot of different options that we could do here, deciding on what we want to do. So we have the mystery damages on Mew. Munkidori is actually active. The game glitched here and did not show that the 30 damage is on Mew. So we opt to use Arven. Didn't want to research this hand, obviously didn't want to lose the Dark Energy off of anything here. So we can grab another Earthen Vessel to get more Psychic Energy in the discard pile. We can use TM Evolution to discard for that as well, so we're not losing anything pivotal. Go ahead and discard that, no problem. We grab a Psychic Energy, last Psychic out of the deck, and we're going to be able to use Mystery Garden here to discard that Psychic Energy. There's not really anything in there that we would like to Night Stretcher back at this point in time. Don't really need to waste it. So we're just going to pitch it with the Mystery Garden here, get rid of that Psychic Energy. That's going to be important for us later. Draw a couple of cards, and we have Iono for a future turn here as well. So Gardevoir, second Gardevoir is in the deck. We can use Ultra Ball here to get Gardevoir as well. So we can have a second Gardevoir come down. So this was a deliberation I was having if I wanted to stay on Frillish, if I wanted to bring in Screamtail to start attacking their Munkidori situation. So they only have 1 monkey set up, which the entire day we've gotten punished for allowing our opponents to set up multiple Munkidoris. Rule number 1, if you are a Gardevoir in the Gardevoir mirror, you're facing your opponent's Gardevoir. A lot of people think to just go after their attackers, take out the Screamtails, take out the Drifloons, take out the big prizers, right? You want to take out Mew, you want to take out the Fez, you want to take out the Gardevoir, deny them the Gardevoir, etc. What you really need to do when your opponent is entrenched, like we both are currently, you need to take out their Munkidoris. If your opponent is chasing Munkidori for the entire game, it's a very bad game for them. So because they only have 1 Munkidori set up with 1 Dark Energy on field, it's more value for me to go after and take out the Munkidori than it would be for me to say go after the Screamtail, for example, right? Because we could knock out Screamtail, we could knock out Clefairy, but it's more value for me to take out the Munkidori, because 2 Munkidoris would be able to knock out my Screamtail, and then they would be able to power something else up and knock out whatever I put forward if it's not Gardevoir. They have a hard time taking out Gardevoir, obviously, but they could then countercatch something that they want to knock out and then have an easy 2 knockouts the following turn, which is what we don't want to deliver to them here. We also leave the damage on Frillish. We take the 30 damage off of Mew, so that Mew is now fully healed. That was a glitch in the game there, so we take the Ultra Ball here as well, which is good. So we take the 30 damage off of Mew, because if we left the damage on Mew, it is within range for free 2 prizes on Screamtail. We don't want that to be easily gotten rid of. We leave the damage on Frillish, though, because that allows us to have damage on board without touching Screamtail's damage. So now, because Mystery Garden's done way too much for us, good time for our opponent to drop down Artazon, obviously. Slap us with an Iono. We do get the Ultra Ball back, which is fine. Rare Candy is not used for us anymore at this point in time, so we still get the Gardevoir out. Mimikyu is not good into the Gardevoir mirror necessarily, so that's also expendable. Very 2 easy cards that we can use for the payment on that Ultra Ball there. We've already seen that the 30 damage that's been pushed around from the Vitality Band has actually been relatively significant here. It's being moved around quite a bit on both sides, so we're going to see that 30 damage moved back over to our side on Munkidori. Now, if that was 20 damage, this doesn't exactly matter, because they're going to be using it just like we used our Screamtail to knock out their monkey. They're going to be knocking out our monkey, which is unfortunate. So, again, if we left the 20 damage on without the Vitality Band, this still would have been a knockout. It would have been an additional energy on their Screamtail. Pretty much that's the only difference between the two. So basically the exact same thing here is going to be happening. We can end up getting Munkidori back down with Artazon. We end up getting a monkey off the top deck anyways, but we're going to put one back in the deck, because now Artazon's going to be in play for the rest of the game. We know that Mesagoza is gone. We know that their Mystery Garden's gone, so we both have Artazons left, or I have an Artazon left. I'm not going to bump theirs, obviously, so we can go ahead and get Gardevoir here. Artazon's going to be in play for the rest of the game, so we're comfortable putting Munkidori back in the deck, because that allows us time to go find the resources that we can go get the Munkidoris out of the discard pile and go from there. So now we do have a choice to Iono them here. We can go down to 5 cards, or we could see 6 cards. I want to see more cards. We don't necessarily see anything threatening out of their hand coming down, so we get Earthen Vessel here, which gets us our Dark Energy, and we get 3 Ionos. Not that we need them, but good that we did. And we have Countercatcher. So Countercatcher not really going to be useful at this particular second in time, because we're just going to be attacking the monkey anyways. So we go ahead and attach there. Take the 30 that's existing off of the Frillish. We don't need to touch anything in the discard pile at all. Don't need to touch it, period. Push 3 damage over to Munkidori, and then hit with a Roaring Scream for a knockout. So again, we have re-established our Munkidori. We have taken out their Munkidori. So that's their second, and our second is now established, right? So this is the back and forth chess match that's happening. Now we're on a pretty good prize trade here, where we've taken 2 prizes. They're going to be targeting our Munkidori again. This is the correct move. It may seem like this is asinine, like why aren't they just going after Mew? Why aren't they just doing a big swing here? Because ultimately, if I get another monkey established, I'm going to be very much ahead and pushing damage around than my opponent is. So they get their 3rd Munkidori established here with 3rd Dark Energy down. And they, up to this point, have been throwing away a lot of resources. I believe they threw away a Super Rod earlier in the game. And they've been pretty good at keeping the resources managed here, but they did end up wasting some stuff super early. So they're going to attach another energy here to Screamtail, because they don't have any damage that they are willing to move around otherwise here. They just want to damage Screamtail. They're going to restart for 1. They could just flat out attack this turn, but if I establish another Munkidori, I could push 30 damage over and knock out their Screamtail. So they're going to do something that tells me that they've played this deck a number of times before. They're going to be very smart about this. They're going to push 10 damage with their Munkidori off of their Screamtail, and onto our Munkidori, which allows Screamtail to still do 100 damage to the board. and it allows them to knock out Monkey while making it so that I cannot knock out their Screen Tail with a single Munkidori. Very keen. It tells me that they know what they're doing. So this is definitely important for us to keep an eye on here, because otherwise we could be in a very bad position. So we do have a Munkidori here. We put it down. We do need a Dark Energy to be able to complete this. So we don't need research. We have 9 cards left in our deck, by the way. So we have gone through our deck quite a bit. We get another Psychic Energy down, checking the deck to see what we have. We have Night Stretcher, we have Super Rod. So we basically just need Night Stretcher at this period in time, be able to grab that Dark Energy and get reestablished here. So we're hoping to get a Dark Energy off of this Iono. We're going to put a Counter Catcher to the bottom of the deck, because our deck is small enough. We can actually get to our resources fairly decently here. So we have one counter, so we know that we have the second Counter Catcher in hand, the other Counter Catchers in the bottom of the deck. We can Ultra Ball here to Mew to restart, because we know we have access to the other Counter Catcher. It is a bit risky for us to throw that away at this point in time, but we know we have access. So we restart for 2. We didn't get the Dark Energy. However, we did get our Super Rod, which is going to be a very important piece for us later. So we are going to Super Rod a Munkidori and 2 Dark Energy back into the deck, because now, if they do not take out our Munkidori on the board, which there's no threat now because we don't have a Dark Energy on it, and we're not going to have a Dark Energy on it on this turn. It allows us to establish a Monkey later, and then potentially get a second one down if they choose to ignore the first. Now, they may forget that we put a second Dark Energy in. I know I certainly did, but that's okay, because it allows us to draw into it. It allows us to play this game a little bit more of a tempo now. So now that we have 120 damage, we can knock out Munkidori and go down to 3 prizes. So our opponent is sitting at 4 prizes here, and now they're going to get a little bit impatient on the board state, and this is the play that's going to cost them the game ultimately here. So we get Bravery Charm off of this. Not exactly great, but it does allow us to put a card down so that we can draw more cards with Mew. Rare Candy is an unfortunate situation that we have to deal with. We can't use Rare Candy, we can't throw it away. So it's an inert card that we can't really do much with. So they end up Night Stretchering to get Munkidori back in here. They want to counter catch up Mew. So this is another thing in the Gardevoir matchup. You want to stay even prizing with the Gardevoir opponent, because it will enable their counter catcher. Very bad thing for you. So they hit us with Iono, which is fine. We get to 2 of our Dark Energies here. It means we get to attach, we get to throw down TM Devolution as well. We won't be able to have a TM Devo play necessarily very easily here. So we could potentially, if we had multiple Munkidoris, go after the Gardevoir and Devo it, knock out the Kirlia, but there's no way for us to get that much damage on board without the multiple Munkidoris. So they're going to retreat here into Gardevoir. They're going to push all of this damage, they're going to push some of this damage over to us. We're going to be outside of the range here, because they're going to take 30 off of Garde, because they're putting 60 on here. They have access to 1 single Munkidori. They get to push 30 damage over. We have no way of getting 70 damage onto Gardevoir to be able to knock out a Kirlia, unfortunately for us. So there's that part is out of the question, because we don't have a Dark Energy on Monkey. It means that we will not be able to do this in a single turn. So they're going to move over the damage from Garde to knock out Screen Tail. This is a bit of a greedy play. It's putting massive pressure on me to be able to do something about it, because they're going to go down to 1 prize here, and we don't really have a good option. We don't really have much of an option here, but we do still have Gardevoir. We still do have a number of things that we can do. So we're going to front up the Gardevoir that does not have the balloon on it. We top deck Stretcher, which is good. They attacked into Mew to remove our draw potential. That was very, very smart of them as well. So debating on what we want to take here, if we wanted to get back Screen Tail to go after something else here, but we needed to make sure that we had draw. So Mew is an obvious option. They have a single prize. Doesn't matter what happens here. We have to make sure that we can get to our counter catcher. That's really the goal that we're looking at here right now. So if we have 7 cards left, we have basically no draw potential in our hand outside of Mew. giving us that draw. So we have to make sure that we can be able to get to this play here. So we're going to Artazon here, thin the deck a little bit more. We do have that second Munkidori down as well. So we know we have the Dark Energy in hand. We have 2 monkeys available here. We're going to go ahead and throw the TM Devo down and draw for 2 cards. Debating on what our options are here. If like we're like, what do we do here? we somehow, like, we can't confuse because we're basically stuck here. We need to get counter catcher. So we Mew restart for 2. We get the Iono. Game's not over yet because we can still Iono. We put the Dark Energy on the bottom of the deck. 4 cards left in the deck. We're gonna draw 3. We have 3 cards left in the deck. We get the counter catcher. It was not stapled to the table, so we're actually saved by this. Because we have also noticed that our opponent has committed every energy that they have to board. So the only thing that they can do is Turo at this point. They have thrown away their Super Rod earlier in the game. They had used their Night Stretchers to get the Munkidori back from the discard pile and a Dark Energy back from the discard pile. So they have committed all energy to play. There is no energy left in the deck. The only thing left that they have is Turos. We're going to counter catch up Besandipity. And we're going to prevent anything. If they have a 3rd counter catch from the list, we're going to prevent them from playing it here. So we're going to be setting up a multi-prize turn. Because if we do 30 damage to Fezandipity here, right, we push over 30 damage with Munkidori onto Screamtail. We have 1 monkey active right now. We almost lost this game off of a massive mistake that I nearly made. At one point here to see that was the game nearly freezing up, giving me a heart attack. So I wanted to remove any possibility of Frillish getting knocked out. Gardevoir can obviously eat a little bit more damage here. We're putting down the Bravery Charm onto Mew just to get that off of our hand here as well. So yeah, and we have 1 card left in our hand, 3 in our deck. So we'll definitely be able to survive an Iono. If they Iono us, we'll shuffle it back in, draw 3, and then we'll have 1 for our turn, so we're perfectly fine there. Iono will not lose me the game. Turo would lose me the game here, but they cannot do much here. So they draw off of the flip the script here. They are not able to do much, so they're going to push 30 damage back over. They're debating on where they want to, or how they want to move this damage. Because now, if they move 30 off of Fez, but they leave Screamtail, Screamtail gets knocked out. If they don't move it off of Fez and they move it off of Screamtail, then it forces me to have a second Munkidori, which I do. Because if I have my Dark Energy in the deck, which I do, we move 60 over to Screamtail for the knockout, and then we just retreat to Gardevoir to knock out Fezandipity. So this is setting up kind of a checkmate board here, and I kind of got over anxious, overzealous on this one. I should have, number 1, I should have restarted. This would have given me the Dark Energy I needed before anything would have happened here. So I realized after I hit Psychic Embrace that I didn't have the play that I wanted to have, because we still needed to get the 20 damage onto Fez. We didn't, the Vitality Band obviously on Frillish, but we didn't have the 10 damage anyways. But if I had used Restart here, there's a very high chance that one of those 2 cards is a Dark Energy. If I had Iono'd this turn, guaranteed Dark Energy in my hand. So I should have Iono'd before knocking out Screamtail, because this adds a variance. This adds another card variance here. Actually, it doesn't matter because we would have drawn 2 cards, which would have been the last 2. If I had Iono'd on this turn, we draw the last 2 cards from the deck. We put the 2 cards in the bottom. The 2 cards in the deck right now includes the Dark Energy. The second Dark Energy, we would have been able to knock out Fezandipity on this turn, move 30 over. But I completely forgot that I had the other Dark Energy in the deck. But we hit with Frillish one more time for item lock, and we're just hoping and praying they don't have an answer in Turo here. They have 4 cards in hand. They can't draw anything beyond that. They grab the 3. They don't end up finding anything to get out of the situation. But we actually had game on board. If we just played Iono, we had game on board the previous turn. We don't give them this turn to come back. So this is why it's very important to remember all of your resources. This was a very tightly played game. I nearly lost it right at the end, but that was an extremely close game. Well played by my opponent on that one as well. That was very tough match to play and to think through. And it came down to being razor thin at the end as well. Very razor thin near at the end. So if you like this kind of content, please like the video, subscribe. It definitely helps the algorithm as well. I appreciate all of you, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.